Hey everyone, N here. So I'm back with another video. Recently I was talking to a friend and they were asking me how I colored my drawings with marker. Now I haven't done marker colored drawings in a couple years. I mean, I still have all my supplies and things, but with digital being so much easier and convenient, I sort of switched exclusively to digital art, although I still love, the traditional medium. There's something that can't replace that. And here are a couple examples of my work that I've done in the past. Some of them a little iffy here and there, but the point is I did a lot of marker drawings, so hopefully this video can help people with coloring with markers. Maybe I have a couple little tips or tricks or things along the way that might help people and be useful. So we're gonna get right into it. As you can see here, I already made a drawing. The drawing part isn't the important thing. Just make sure when you want to do a marker drawing that you erase a lot of the pencil work, because if you use markers over it, you're not going to be able to erase it. It's just going to leave a little smudge mark. So just be sure the area is clean. And another thing too is make sure that the ink that you're using, that you outlined it with, won't bleed from the alcohol markers. I've had that happen quite a few times, and it ruins the drawings a bit. So, maybe go on a piece of paper with your outline line and go over it with a marker just to make sure, there's no bleeding that's going to happen. For this drawing, I just used a Sharpie pen. I'm not too picky with art supplies, to be honest. If it works, it works. So starting off with marker coloring, the main thing I try to do is color the edges of what I'm coloring first, just because, when you're coloring, that's kind of the harder area, so it makes it a little easier. As you can see, I'm starting with a darker color. The main thing I do first, or I try to be conscious about, is I'll start with a darker color and lay down that, so basically the shadows and things, like you can see here. And once I have that done, I can go into my lighter color, and basically I'll go over with the lighter color, like you can see with the skin tone, and it'll sort of blend the darker shadow a bit and makes it a little more softer. And another thing with markers too is when you put it down, sometimes the colors will look a little darker because it's wet, and then once it dries, it sort of lightens up. So don't be afraid. A key tip always is to have a piece of paper on the side so you could sample the colors and see, if you like how that's going to look before you actually put it on the page. So that's what I'll pull out a lot in this video. Now, the main thing with markers is you have to be wary of the colors overlapping when you use the marker. So I guess sort of imagine it like it sort of makes a transparent sheet, and the more you overlay it, the more darker that overlapped area will be. So when I color, I try to make, strips that barely touch, if at all. And sometimes if I don't like the look, I will just sort of go over it, sort of like a cross-hatching style, so, vertical and horizontal lines, and sort of try to make a uniform color. Except the only thing is, if you do that, you have to worry about the page bleeding, and sometimes if you overwork with the marker too much, it'll make the page sort of wet and tear, so be mindful of that. So my main thing is I try to just do single parallel strokes almost that don't have too much overlap. And yeah, I sort of hide that too by having the darker first and then doing the lighter over it, just to sort of blend things a little more. So yeah, pretty much for the rest of this video, it's mainly doing dark and then having a lighter color over that to sort of blend it. And now for the sort of finishing part is I like to do highlights. Now for highlights, you could even use whiteout. I tend to use like whiteout pens. Some people also use gel pens. In this case, I'm going to use a colored pencil, white colored pencil, because I couldn't find my stuff, so white colored pencil will have to do. You can also use colored pencil to actually shadow over markers. Once they're dry, you probably don't want to do it when it's like a little wet, but since they're alcohol based, they tend to dry faster. But yeah, once I add the little highlights, it sort of makes things pop a little more, and brings me to a place where I'm pretty happy. I'm not doing anything too crazy with the background. This is sort of just for an example, but I hope some of this was at least informative. Hopefully. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the end of this topic. Hopefully it was helpful to you. If you have any questions relating to art or things you'd like me to make videos on, just be sure to leave them down in the comments below. If you like the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I am hopefully going to be back really soon. I just downloaded a different editing software, so hopefully that speeds up the process, because the one I was using previously made it a little more difficult and time consuming, so I was sort of drawn out of not wanting to make a video for a while, but I want to be back. Maybe it might be about a movie. We will see. With that, I guess I'll catch everyone next time. See ya!